Well, I think I'm going to kick things off. Whoever's late, screw them. They told me that it was an honor to be one of the last speakers of the day, or some BS like that, that they saved the best for last, but I guess a lot of people went home. Anyway, my name's Larry Bailin. I'm the author of the best-selling internet marketing book, Mommy, Where Do Customers Come From? This book here. And I'm here to talk about igniting viral campaigns. And that's the official title that my presentation was given by Affiliate Summit, and I have since gone in and, unbeknownst to them, changed it to Clicking Ass. Because I think, which is actually the title of my next book, which comes out in November. But the reason that the book is coming out and the reason I changed the title is because you can't help but watch television, read blogs, podcasts, magazines, and everything else, and not hear about the doom and gloom of the economy. And it's very true. It doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. So if you want to succeed in viral, in social, online or off, you have to get a lot more aggressive. You have to learn to click ass. I'm of the belief that there are two types of business people out there. There are those that wait for the storm to pass, and then there's those that dance in the rain. And if you're going to click ass, you have to be of the type to dance in the rain, of which I've always considered myself. No matter what the harshness, no matter what the environment, no matter what the climate, I've always pushed through. So hopefully, some of this will help you dance in the rain as well.
Oh, you're not just going to walk away and give up.
Stuck.
You can get that. That's yours. Nobody else. Get in there and give it some heat. Give it some heat. Give it some heat. Get in there and you get it. You go and get it, and you go get it hard. You get it. You get it. Get it. That's the one right there. You get it.
You have to get what's yours, what's out there. Now, Affiliate Summit is a fantastic show. I've been asked to speak here many, many times on both coasts. And I keep doing it because it's probably a group of the most connected people I've ever met. There's practically no one that you'll meet that doesn't have their Twitter username on their business card, that isn't tweeting all throughout the show. And obviously they put on a fantastic show, I believe over 4,000 people, and it's always sold out. This is an aggressive group. So what we have to learn to do is get what's ours. And what's ours is customers. That's what's out there. You're not here to learn to tweet, you're not here to learn to blog, you're not here to learn to be a better affiliate. You're here to learn how to get customers. And that's what I'm hoping to instill in most of you. That's what I write about in my book, is how to make better customer connections, how to understand that everything is about a sale. Again, the book is in its second release. It was released, second edition, in November of last year, of '09, and it hit Amazon's bestseller list all through December and all through January. It's been great for me, and like again, the second one comes out November of 2010. These are some of my clients. I'm very fortunate. I've been doing this since '95, and my clients are typically companies like, not typically, but we're fortunate. They're companies like Acer Computers, Endust, Kiwi Shoe Polish, Harley Davidson, so on and so forth. I show you this to show you where I kind of bring my knowledge from, that it's not one specific industry I focus on. I don't just work with affiliates or consumer packaged goods or auto groups. It's a lot of different industries. And I take that knowledge and bring it to my other clients to help them achieve opportunity. There's a great saying that the information that will help you grow your business will probably come from outside of your industry. Most people look at their competitors. I have my clients look into other industries and see what people are doing. So the first step in igniting any campaign, any viral campaign, any social campaign, is what I call pre-ignition. You have to do your homework. If you're in sales, you understand that before you walk into a meeting with a client, you do your homework. It's the same thing here. You have to be prepared. You can't just run out there and put things out there. Pre-ignition starts with understanding who your customers are. Step number one, who are you going to be in front of? What's their generation? There's many generations out there, silent, baby boomers, Generation Jones, which is our president's generation, Generation X, which is my generation, and Generation Y. Those are the customers that are out there now. They may not all be your customers, but one of those generations is your customers, if not multiple generations. So you better understand everything there is to know about what drives that generation and what drives your customers. Most of the time when I give this presentation, everyone wants to know about video. They always associate the word viral with the word video. Viral isn't necessarily just video, but it does kind of go hand in hand. The two have become synonymous with each other. Now, when you look up the word viral in a dictionary to see what it really means, so you can determine what it takes to be viral, the definition is of the nature or caused by a virus. So viral doesn't even have its own definition. It's piggybacking off of something else. And when you look up virus, there are many definitions for the term virus. None of them good. A corrupting influence on morals or the intellect.
Leave Britney alone! Please!
That's the leave Britney alone guy. Fits that definition really well. Another one, something that poisons one's soul or mind. Some of you laughing probably know and have heard of the Numa Numa guy, who was actually on Jimmy Kimmel Live, which was interesting. Foul or malodorous, I always have problems with that, fluid, sticky substance, agent that causes infectious diseases.
Zoom the camera out and see the light chocolate ring. Forecast to be falling yesterday, chocolate rain. Only in the past is what they say, chocolate rain.
That's the chocolate rain guy, for those of you who didn't know. Wildly popular, was on the Opie and Anthony show and some other, and he was very, very serious about this song. I mean, very serious. And it became a viral type video. Extremely simple microorganisms. That's Afro Ninja. You can get Afro Ninja t-shirts at afroninja.com. They make a great Valentine's Day gift. Also appeared on Jimmy Kimmel. Any of various, extremely small, often disease-carrying agents. Bless you. I'll explain this one for those of you that don't know. This is called Dramatic Chipmunk. It is a YouTube celebrity. It was done, I believe, in a pet store, is the backstory, where they put a webcam on a tank that had a chipmunk. And the chipmunk made that dramatic turn, and they put music to it, and it came out like this. It's funny in and of itself, and it's spread in and of itself. But the part that made it wildly virus and made it a YouTube celebrity video is the fact that people made their own videos using that exact footage. Thousands of dramatic chipmunk videos were created with the basis of this video, very similar, actually not even similar, this one is one of them.
And we hold the world ransom for $1 million.
So people have fun with this stuff, and it does spread. If you take all of these videos, all these YouTube celeb videos, tie them all together and add up all of the eyeballs that have been on that video, you're talking close to 1 billion people have watched these videos and spread them, which is very impressive for little 10, 20, 30-second clips that are just extremely funny. The problem is, as business people, people that are looking to get what's ours, these videos were viral by accident. But were they successful? What determines success? For us, it's going to be getting customers and making money. These YouTube celebs never set out to make a profit. Good thing, because they didn't. You know, with all the eyeballs on these videos, with all the people that have seen the Numa Numa guy on the Conan O'Brien show, Nobody made any money. But could they have been ignited? Could these YouTube celeb videos been ignited for profit? Absolutely. If a smart company that understood social, a big brand perhaps, were smart enough to have engineered these videos to work for them, they would have gotten a lot of eyeballs and would have ignited a brand. It would have been very easy for Hershey's to have created the Chocolate Rain video. It would have been great if Petco leveraged Dramatic Chipmunk or even created it. But typically these big brands don't think this way. They don't think about these videos as ways to connect with people. So how do you ignite a viral campaign? There's actually a very short answer that I've made very, very long because otherwise my presentation will be over right now. You have to learn to influence. And influence is also known as how to sell. It's typically a bad word for most people. People don't want to sell, but you have to learn to sell. Nothing happens until a sale is made. That's the problem, is most people focus so much on the technology, so much on the tool and the vehicle, that they forget that they're trying to evoke a sale, that they're trying to create influence or persuasive momentum to make something happen. Using the tool, using the vehicle, is 10% of the equation. 90% of it, the true talent, comes from being able to influence, being able to evoke something, some sort of an action. I'm always asked about, I speak all over the country for companies like GE, Microsoft. I do a lot of keynotes around the country on this topic. And I'm always asked about materials that are out there. What are the best books on this, that, or the other thing? And with the rise of Twitter and Facebook and social and YouTube, I'm always asked, what's the greatest book ever written on viral, social, affiliate, so on and so forth? It's actually a very easy question for me to answer, even though there's probably a few hundred books written just on Twitter. It's a very simple question. The best book ever written on success in any of this space, anything online, was written actually 70 years ago. It was written by a man named Dale Carnegie. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People. This is absolutely the success guide for Twitter, the success guide for Facebook, for blogging, for podcasting, for video. This book helps you understand the power of influence. My book talks a lot about sales and persuasive momentum and how to use these tools. So if you're writing down titles to go buy things, you definitely want to write that one down too. It'd be helpful. But this book I've read 7 times. If you've been in business for quite a while and you haven't read this book, then shame on you. This is a staple that's been out there for a long, long time. It is not a quick nor an easy read, but it's probably the most powerful sales tool you could ever get, and it's about $9. So the things, I guess the message you can take from that is the tried and true strategies, the things that have been around and influencing people forever, still work. You can't forget about them, and 9 out of 10 times most people do. There is a viral video and a company that leveraged a viral video campaign that was wildly successful and made a tremendous amount of money. That company was E-Trade. E-Trade came out with a social character called the E-Trade Baby. They launched it on one of the Super Bowls a few years ago, I believe in 2008. This is actually the first video they came out with.
A lot of people are like, aren't you too young to invest in the markets? And, you know, A, don't worry about it. You know, I just look young. I mean, you don't know how old I am. And B, I use E-Trade, so check it. Click. I just bought stock. You just saw me buy stock. No big deal. I mean, you know, if I can do it, you can do it. Whoa. It's so easy. They're at
Classic. Hysterical, awesome video, very well done. This was the second one they came out with after the success of this video, the previous video.
Micromanage your finances, but I will tell you that my E-Trade savings account earns 8 times the national average, so, you know. I mean, it's funny, you know, I mean, the boys are talking about what to do with all this extra coin. I was like, I'm renting a clown. And I did, a Bobo here. And I really underestimated the creepiness.
Earn 8 times the national average. 1,000 to
Two great ones, right? So far, so good. Now, they've come out with 8 total. They just released a new one, which I don't have. This is actually close to the newest one and possibly my favorite. And I want you to see the kind of the progression and now who they're targeting with each video.
This is weak, man. Frank's trying to not pay me my winnings for the Skins beatdown I just issued him because his 401k's tanking. It's like, dude, you got to grab the reins, man. Get E-Trade, do some analytics, do some research, and take charge so I don't have to subsidize your lack of golfing skills.
Then the night told, you moved your ball.
Frank, it was on the cart path. Why don't you try reading the rules, Shankopotamus?
Take control with one of the most powerful investing.
Now, don't let Sean or Missy hear this, but if there's only one thing you take away from Affiliate Summit at Vegas this year, it should be the term Shankopotamus. Quite frankly, the best word ever created. So why does this campaign sell? I'm not asking you why it was viral. I think it's quite obvious why it was viral, but why does it sell? Simple. Emotion. It has it all. Every one of these videos touches every emotion that you need to sell. And you can't sell without emotion. If you don't create emotion or evoke emotion in someone watching your video, reading your Facebook page, commenting on your blog, whatever it is, if there's no emotion, there's no sale. If you're not excited, they're not excited. This is sales 101. This video did it all. It made me feel, the first video made me feel like, wow, this is really easy. I can go on and do this. You know, even though it was very exaggerated, it still seemed like it would be easy. I might as well go try it. It must be very easy. You know, the second video made me feel like, if people are making money doing this, you know, what am I going to do with all my extra money? Well, I'm going to go try this. And the third video targeted very, very specifically and made a big connection with golfers. So now it's targeting more affluent people, possibly people that may be trading other places. They did it all, and it was a windfall for E-Trade, put them on the map, to the point where they continue it. And I highly recommend you do this as you follow the E-Trade baby on Twitter. One of my favorite tweets was Christmas Eve. I believe it was Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. It was bouncy seat right under the mistletoe. Sweet. There's a lot of really cool stuff that they put out there. And you can see a good mix of sharing information, funny stuff, and good quality educated materials. So there's a good mix. They do this like masters. It's done very, very well. So definitely take a look at that. This was so successful that the Wall Street Journal named it, based on a poll, it was the most successful of any campaign, including President Obama's Yes We Can campaign. It beat them all. It beat Mac and PC. It was very successful. Why? Because it made a connection. It made a connection with everybody. It evoked enough emotion that people remembered it and leveraged it. Sales is about persuasion. Persuasion requires emotion. Emotion creates connection. Connection leads to action. Simple. 4 pieces: persuasion, emotion, connection, action. That's selling. That's opening to closing. That ignites viral campaigns when it can do these things. You have to connect better. We all have to connect better. Even if you're great at making connections, it's time to make it better. Walt Disney had a great saying that I do copy quite often with my people. He had his Imagineers, and every time they came up with new ideas, he'd say, that's great. How do we plus it? So how do you take a great idea and make it even better? How do you plus it? You have to connect better. If you think you're connecting as best as you can, think again and try to connect better. The character connections have been used by a lot of companies very successfully, not just E-Trade. It's been around for a long time, from William Shatner for Priceline. Geico's another master at this. They create multiple social characters, and they run them all at the same time. They're the only company that does that. Where on one television show, you could see the gecko, and a few minutes later, the caveman. And just when you think you'll never see the caveman again, another video comes out with the caveman, another commercial. They're masters at it. But this has been going on and making connection with people for a long time. Characters are great to do this. This is why baseball teams and sports teams have mascots, because you can make a connection with them. It also creates a metaphorical distance between the brand message, corporate message, and the offering. So the mascot, the social character, can do a lot more than just a brand message. And again, has gone on through history. From the Jolly Green Giant, Joe Azuzu, Where's the Beef, Dunkin' Donuts guy, Mr. Whipple, Bartles and James. You know, none of these people are real. This makes a connection, and it's been going on forever. We have to bring this into the fold with things that we're doing. We did this with a gentleman named Ronnie Coleman. Ronnie Coleman is the 8-time winner of the Mr. Olympia competition. He's won 8 consecutive times. Only one other gentleman has ever done that, a gentleman by the name of Lee Haney. Ronnie has won more times than Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger, I believe, won 6 consecutive times. So Ronnie's considered the best there's ever been. He still holds that record. Ronnie was in my office, and I'll explain that in a little bit. And we were talking about, he had just lost. He went to go win number 9 a few years ago, and that would have been the world record, number 9. He's tied for the world record now. And he lost to just to another gentleman whose name escapes me. And Ronnie said that he was going to go back and win number 9 the following year. And the question he was asked was, is that even possible? I mean, look at you. You're enormous. Can you be bigger, stronger, better than you are right now? And he said, absolutely. I just can't keep doing the same things that got me here. I have to add more weight to the bar. And that, as a marketer, stuck in my head. And that's what we have to do. We have to add more weight to the bar. Whatever worked before is great. We have to try new things. We used Ronnie. The reason he was in my office was because he endorses a product that one of my clients puts out. So I'll tell you a little quick story about Ronnie Coleman. It's actually not a candy bar, it's a protein bar. Candy bar just sounded better. And I know some of you had lunch, so I'll fix that real quick. Although that might make it worse. Either way, this protein bar is endorsed by Ronnie. And it's actually very good. It tastes like a $100,000 bar, like one of the candy bars, except it has like an ungodly amount of protein that if you're not used to eating that kind of protein at one sitting, you're not going to want to drift far away from the bathroom. Now, we had to first understand how to leverage Ronnie's character. We had to understand the customer. How do we evoke a sale? Our job was not to create an interview about Ronnie and his losing the Mr. Olympia title. Our job was to sell more protein bars, period. But we had a great tool in front of us to do that. So what we did is the first thing we had to do was understand who the customer is for this protein bar. It's not your average person. It's not your average gym goer. It's hardcore enthusiasts. It's fitness professionals, trainers, bodybuilders, both professional and amateur. Now, what do those people do when they're online? What do they search for? Well, we know that they follow whatever this guy does. They want to know what he eats, what he drinks, when he sleeps, everything. So that's what we gave him. We created a half-an-hour video podcast, which is typically unheard of and something I would have never wanted to do in the past, except it was just so engaging. We felt it might have been a little too long, but Bodybuilding Magazine called it the best interview he had ever done. And because we understand sales, we were able to create the best interview he's ever done. We were told from day one that Ronnie's an awful interview, that he doesn't elaborate on anything. He gives yes and no answers. Maybe, I'm thinking, okay, this guy's going to grunt into the microphone. And so how do you prepare for that? You don't ask questions that you can answer with a grunt, a yes, or a no. You ask leading questions. And we asked a lot of things that had nothing to do with bodybuilding, like where he went to school, what got him into bodybuilding, what he would have done if he didn't go into bodybuilding. I mean, all of these things. And it became a phenomenon. If you go onto YouTube, it's still there. If you type in Ronnie Coleman interview, it's going to be #1 in the search. It's viewed hundreds of thousands of times. The comments, still to this day, and this is a few years old, keep coming. Some people break out in fights in the comments. It's pretty interesting to watch. There's definitely a lot of steroid talk in the comments. If you go to Google and you type in Ronnie Coleman interview, you're going to find it. some of you are asking, well, that's great, it shows up for Ronnie Coleman interview, but how come you didn't target Ronnie Coleman video? And I've listened to some of the other speakers here, and Jay Berkowitz from the 10 Golden Rules gave a great presentation yesterday. If you weren't here to see it, definitely hook up with him, about adding the word video to your title tags in YouTube so people can search and find it. And I agree with that 100%, except in this case. I didn't want people that were looking for video. I didn't really care how many people saw the video. I cared about the right people seeing the video. That was the big difference. Lots of people doesn't equal sales. The right people equal sales. If you're typing in interview, you're looking for information. You're more apt to be that enthusiast that I needed this to be in front of. If you type in video, you're looking for entertainment in this space, especially when you put Ronnie Coleman before it, and you get lots of these types of videos. He yelled lightweight after he lifted that twice. It was 900 pounds. Yeah, he is one of the only people on the planet that can do that, except for, I think, this guy. I think it's you or the second person. Who's the woman that was just cackling while he was lifting that? It was anybody? Who was laughing really hard? It wasn't a woman, it was you, sir. Oh, is that guy? That was funny. Anyway, it's even funnier that you sound like a woman. Anyway, sorry, I apologize. You can come up and get a book afterwards. I'll give you a book. Sorry, I'm from New Jersey, and I don't have one of those filters that stop certain things from coming out of my mouth when I think them. So community connections is another great connection. We did a viral video contest for Acer Computers when they came out with this new Aspire One netbook. They came to us, and they had a video their ad agency created. It was kind of a commercial. They called it, what did they call it? They called it a video asset, which was interesting. I didn't see the asset part in that video. It was a commercial, and they wanted to make it viral. We turned them down and said, that's not the way it works. People don't want to watch a commercial on the web. It's not going to spread the way you want it to be. Not to mention it was horrible. So we wanted to get it to spread. Now this thing had a lot of really cool features. One, it was under 300 bucks. It booted up in 8 seconds. It weighed less than 2 pounds. It had, just like every netbook nowadays, webcam, wireless built in, just some great stuff. So we went online and found people that were looking for video contests, looking to enter video contests. We created a website that showed up very well in organic on every term known to man when it came to video contests, movie contests, so on and so forth. We wanted to show up in the organic because it's more likely to get a better click. 8 out of 10 people click in organic. So this is what we built. Now, it was a wildly successful campaign. We got a lot of people to create videos using this laptop and getting them to spread. And the way you won the contest, one component was to have the most eyeballs on this video, have the most comments. Anyone that won YouTube honors got a higher percentage and their video would win, or a better chance of winning. This, real quick, whoops, let me go back. I'm going to show you the winning video. actually not bad for an amateur video, someone that doesn't do that for a living. It is, I'm going to tell you, if you're thinking of creating some sort of a contest where people create videos, it is a difficult thing to do. It is very hard to get people to work for free. At the off chance, I mean, we had great prizes, cash, technology, I mean, just tons of stuff. But it's still very difficult to get somebody to do that. Now, the reason this video won, he integrated everything that laptop was. Portability, usability, I mean, just everything was in there. But he made that video viral by creating a backstory. The fact that 85% of that video, he created a behind-the-scenes video. It was done on a green screen. That's pretty cool. So when someone watched one, they watched the other. And then someone commented about one, they commented on the other. And this thing just exploded. It was getting YouTube honors all over the place for most watched, most discussed. And people were just discussing the techniques. I mean, not to mention the cool landing that he did. The biggest thing that came out of this for this gentleman was not winning an Xbox and cash and all this other stuff. He's actually now going to be part of creating the next commercial for Acer, which is huge. So there's opportunity. Like I said, it is very difficult to create a contest, to get people to do it. Again, you have to know how to sell free, meaning doing something for free. We leveraged every network out there, from Twitter to Facebook and YouTube channels and MySpace and everything else, and it worked very well. These two companies were running campaigns simultaneously, Crazy Glue and Nature Valley Granola. It is estimated that both of them spent in excess of $1 million on their campaign to promote it. Now, 10 video entries, 14 video entries, it doesn't sound like a lot. It is a lot. I mean, Crazy Glue, I think, could have done a better job. I mean, Crazy Glue is what, $3? You know, you can glue something to something and create a video, and they only got 10 entries. So I thought that one failed. Nature Valley, a little bit better, and there were a couple of others that did well. But the problem was the budget that we had was not in excess of $1 million. We didn't even ask for a budget. We just figured out how to do it. And it was wildly successful. We had hundreds of thousands of views, 20 YouTube honors for the videos that were created, 40+ entries, and less than $100,000 budget. So if you do it right, and you really think through about making these connections and how do you influence and persuade, you can do it on both sides. You can persuade people to buy these laptops, and you can persuade people to create videos for free. You have to leverage your networks in order to do things on a viral basis. You have to build your networks, but you also have to know how to leverage them. The two major players in the space are MySpace and Facebook, as we all know. And as most of us know, there's really one major player in this space right now. MySpace is all but dead, unless you're targeting 13-year-old girls, which is illegal, or people. I've seen a show on TV, it's real interesting. Or if you're targeting people that are in bands, that maybe MySpace is a great place to be. Other than that, they blew it. I mean, Facebook is huge. They're growing, they're the powerhouse, they're the leader, they're the 800-pound gorilla right now. And it doesn't seem like they're going to be stopping anytime soon, but you can't F it up, F meaning Facebook. Most people F it up. Most people will treat Facebook as a newspaper and throw ads on there. Now, I know there's a good mix of people in this room that are advanced users, that are new at this, and are trying to figure out whether it's something valuable to do, and that's what this show is all about. You get people on every spectrum. Car dealers are horrific at this stuff. For some reason, they think everyone stopped reading newspapers to be able to read a newspaper on Facebook. So they take their ads and they just throw them up on Facebook. And this kind of stuff doesn't fly. You can't sell on Facebook. You have to subtly persuade. And there is a slight difference. You're still selling, but it's not as blatant. You still have to evoke some sort of an outcome. You just can't go head on into it. Facebook, social media, social networking, this is nothing new either. Just like that book that was written 70 years ago, businesses have been networking forever. That's what people are doing at this show. Out in the exhibit area, there's thousands of people networking. There's also good and bad sales happening out there, meaning I walked through the entire show floor twice and not one person behind a booth engaged me. That's poor selling, not knowing how to work a booth, not knowing how to network. Waiting for me, the potential customer, to engage you is not the right thing to do. Social's the same way. You can't wait for people to engage you. You have to contribute, you have to share, you have to be out there doing, and you have to earn it. The same way that it should be done on a showroom, on an exhibit hall floor, which it's not being done. Not one person came up and said hi. That won't fly on Facebook either. This is sociology meets technology. That's all it is. The tool is irrelevant. It's what you put there that matters. Might as well be a cave wall. Cave painting was probably the first form of social media, social networking. How many oxen I have, how many deer I killed, how many wives I have, how many children. It was all on a wall because you wanted people to see it. This is the same thing. There's a couple of effing tips I can give you. Again, F meaning Facebook. These are things that I personally do, and they may or may not work for you, and you may or may not agree with me, and some of the speakers here may or may not agree with me. There's something very valuable about a clean list. We all know that from a mailing list. If you don't have a clean mailing list of good quality targeted people, you're wasting your money and sending out mail that's just going to get returned or thrown in the garbage. Same thing with email marketing. It's all about the quality of the list that gets the results. Well, you have to take those same tactics and put them to use here. I will typically go in, I clean my wall. If somebody throws a stupid pillow at me, I remove it from my wall. It's not conducive to what I'm trying to do there. I don't throw pillows at people. I don't know why they throw them at me. But people just go online and start sending me drinks and doing all this other stuff. It's not really the reason that I have a Facebook page. And it's pretty obvious from looking at my Facebook page what I'm doing there, what kind of information I'm sharing. I don't want to play Mafia Wars. I don't want to farm. I don't want any of that stuff. Now, the stuff that I put out there that I do want people to see, that I want to share, gets pushed down by all those invitations. And most people don't click on show older posts. I want my stuff above the fold. So I will clean my wall. The other thing is you have to clean your list. A lot of my clients that come to me when we're either consulting or building social strategies for them, they'll have a Facebook page and they'll have, I don't know, Afghani strippers and anybody that wants to be a friend, they're just friending like crazy. It's not about the number of friends you have. If you have to make your sphere of influence very powerful and you want it to spread. You also, if you're connecting with the right people, you get to see what they're sharing. And that kind of stuff will create ideas and give you a constant feed of new information if you're sharing with like-minded people. If you're friending like-minded people, you can build a great, powerful network of push and pull. But if you have a bunch of people that are on there just for Farmville, you're going to get tons and tons of farm crap. And it's going to block all the things that you really wanted. So you have to make sure your list is clean if you're going to get the most out of it. I'm not a believer that it's about how many friends you have. I think it's about the right friends. I think sales happen if you're in front of people that are more apt to buy from you. Social media with no strategy drives traffic. Strategic thought and value, that's what creates revenue. Just being there is not good enough. In order to be catapulted to success, you must first have something worth flinging into the air. That's the truth. That's gone on again throughout history. Whether you're creating a brochure, sending an email, pitching something to a customer, handing over a proposal, or on Facebook or Twitter. If it's going to catapult you to success, it better be worthwhile. So thinking like a customer. I've devoted chapters of my book and tons of articles about techniques to think like a customer and how to think like a customer, because that is where success is going to come from. That's where ignition in any viral campaign is going to come from, when you understand your customer and you can think like them, putting them in your shoes. Right down to if you're in real estate. People don't buy homes because they want a home. They buy a house because for other reasons. They have other pains or other motivators. Maybe they need more space. Maybe they have a job relocation. Maybe they have kids that are getting of age to go to school and they want a better school system for their kids, or they want a better neighborhood. There's a lot of motivation. People search for the problem, not the solution. What are your customers' problems? These are the things that you have to ask yourself and understand if you're going to think like a customer. I'm going to show you this video. We've been working with a lot of car dealers in the last year and a half. I mean, a tremendous amount on lots of different things. So I'm getting an education from some of the worst salespeople I've ever seen, maybe some of the best. This is a video that came directly from Honda that was supposed to be customer forward, meaning positioned to us, the car buyers, and connect with us.
The 2009 Honda Accord sedan redefines the passenger vehicle segment, offering crisply executed sheet metal, generous interior space, and clean yet fully capable powertrains.
Okay, I have never gone into a car dealership and said, show me your car with the crispest sheet metal. What do you have with a clean yet powerful powertrain? Never, never. We don't speak that way. But when you're disconnected from your customer and you don't think like a customer, and in some cases maybe don't care about a customer, this is the stuff you create. They spend a lot of time on all the bells and whistles and this thing spinning around, but it's not real. It doesn't connect with the customer. It's meaningless and forgettable. One of our dealerships that we handle is a large luxury dealer auto group in New Jersey, and we started working with their Mercedes dealers first, and we created some videos about each different model of Mercedes. What we did is we gathered up all the salespeople and asked them to go stand next to their favorite, the keyword there being favorite, car on the showroom floor. When we put the video camera in front of them, we said, okay, now I want you to tell me why that's your favorite car. What that did is it made it personal, it made it real. It made it something I couldn't read in a brochure. It gave me a real opinion from a real person and some emotion. This is one of the videos that was created, which I think came out really well.
Hi, my name is Derek Fox, Ray Katina Mercedes-Benz, Edison, New Jersey. I present to you for your driving pleasure the 2009 Mercedes-Benz CLK 350 convertible. It is everything you've ever heard about it and then some. Right now, she's showing off as a pillarless coupe. But what I like about it, in addition to the powerful V6 engine, 268 horsepower, is how it converts from a pillarless coupe to a convertible. Watch this. I'm using the infrared key fob and pointing it at the door handle without touching the car. And voila, the transformation process begins. In less than 23 seconds, the car goes from a coupe to a drop-dead gorgeous, easy to look at convertible. Your neighbors, your friends are going to be so through with you. But who cares? Life is too short and the road too long to drive anything less than a Mercedes-Benz.
I think Derek did a great job. I think it had personality. I think the whole your friends, your family will be so through with you thing just came off, rolled right off his tongue, something he would normally say, and you saw his personality there. And you saw he had a passion for the car and what it did. Now, whenever someone goes to this website and they watch these videos, if they're interested in that car, they call Derek. Because Derek had an emotion. Derek made a connection. There's no 2, 3, 4 camera setup here. That car's not spinning around. There's no, it's one camera sitting on a tripod focused on Derek and the car. And it sells cars because it's real. There's no bells and whistles. You can't focus on bells and whistles. You have to focus on don't focus on the features, focus on the benefits. That's sales 101. People don't buy features, they buy benefits. What's the benefit of the feature? This, again, is sales 101. If you guys aren't students of sales, I highly recommend becoming students of sales. It will make everything in your life better. No bells and whistles. All bells and whistles do is make noise, period. That's their function in life, is to make noise. That's not what you're trying to do. You are trying to cut through the noise and create connection. You have 5 to 8 seconds to make that connection. It only takes a split second to get the wrong message. That is quite possibly the funniest video out there. I mean, it really makes a statement really quickly. It's just great. But you kind of get my point. It's really about making that connection, and you don't have a lot of time to make it because all of our customers, and that's who we're talking to out there, are customers. Whether they're blog readers, whether they're friends, whether they're followers, they're customers. And those are the only people we want to talk to, are customers. They have so much being thrown at them. Their attention spans are very, very small, which is why you have to make that emotional connection to them, and you have to know as much about them as you possibly can before even trying to connect with them, because in most cases you get one shot at that first impression, period. You know, we live in a world where good or bad, it spreads the same. It's not the happy customer, 1 or 2 people, unhappy 10 or 20. It's the same. Thousands of people can know good or bad. I also listened to one of the other speakers talking about podcasting. Now, podcasting is something my company did for quite a while with our clients. We don't do as much of it anymore unless the situation is right. Some people will tell me that podcasting is dead, and it's not really dead. I think the term podcasting is dead. I know people don't really search for podcasting or podcasts on the internet as much as they come across them and listen to them, so they're still powerful. What we did for Kiwi Shoe Polish is we took the same tack we took with Ronnie Coleman. We didn't want to create a podcast about how to shine your shoes. In all honesty, if you can't figure out how to get the stupid little sponge out of the can and rub it up and down on your shoe, you're not going to get to a podcast, and you're not going to be able to play it on your iPod. So, who is a customer for Kiwi? Well, it's us. Kiwi's #1 customer are business people. People that need to dress for success, look their best, make sure their visible details are perfect before introducing themselves to someone, making a presentation, going on a sales call. You have to look your best. And Kiwi has a whole line of this product that's their express product that you can keep in your glove box to get scuffs off your shoes and what have you. Well, who do people listen to? Again, like a Ronnie Coleman, who do we follow? We follow typically experts in our fields, experts in marketing, experts in sales. People like Jack Canfield, Brian Tracy, Harry Beckwith, who wrote Selling the Invisible, and he actually wrote the foreword to my book. He has a whole chapter dedicated to visible details and how to be aware of your visible details. We interviewed them all and talked about how important it is to look your best, and is dressing for success the right thing. And we called the show Polished, and it's brought to you by Kiwi Shoe Polish. And that's how we attracted the right people. So at the end of the podcast, you can actually get a coupon to go and try out some of their express products, and sales go up. So when you're connecting and you understand the customer, you know what to put in front of them. You know how to tug on those emotional strings. What will persuade me? That persuades me to go and buy something. If it's going to make my life better, my life easier, and selling more and connecting with more customers does both those things, I'm in. So understanding that customer is big, even for Kiwi. Now, I know I said that people don't, the term podcasting is dead. People don't search for podcasting. Just not to upset anybody, that's not 100% true. There are certain things that are typed in with the word podcasting in front of them into major search engines. Religion. People search for religious podcasts 278 plus times a day, every day. I couldn't find a picture of God. He's either driving the truck or he's in the back. That's my guess. After religion, health. Every ailment possible. People are looking for health-related podcasts 176 times a day. And then, of course, once you have religion and health covered, it's going to be Family Guy. That is actually the natural progression of things. 25 people a day are looking for Family Guy podcasts to listen to. And then, of course, I'm sure you all know this by now, you're a bunch of smart people. After Family Guy, it's knitting. Knitting podcast. Now, this one kind of threw me for a loop. I started to think again like a customer. There are 15 people a day looking for knitting podcasts. Who would that be? My grandmother knits. She's the only person I know that knits. And I know she's not online looking for podcasts. So I typed it into Google, knitting podcasts. And I found a great website that almost makes you want to take up knitting. It's called knitty.com. It's a great social site. It's a great information site. If you do anything with knitting or know someone that knits, this is the site. There's some cool stuff on here that I had no idea. There's an online audio knitting revolution. It's Knit 1 Pearl 2.0, I'm guessing. There is Knitty Swag. Cool, everybody wants the swag. I'm like, perfect. I will make the best of this and I will get my grandmother a t-shirt. Unfortunately, I don't think she'll wear a shirt that says Yarn Hoe. I'm from New Jersey, very cynical by nature. I would love if she wore that shirt. I take her shopping. We go to the mall every day. And then, of course, science is another thing that people search for. So people do search using the term podcast, but more often than not, people are coming across podcasts in content, in blogs, by doing normal searches. Podcasts are still very, very powerful if they're used the right way. And again, Jay Berkowitz, who was up on this stage yesterday around this time, 10 Simple Rules, talks a lot about podcasts. He's got a great podcast. There are definitely people out there still using them, listening to them, and leveraging them. So there's something there. Here's some social rules before we kind of wrap up. You're judged by the company you keep. Tried and true rules that we all grew up on. You are judged by the company you keep. People will friend or follow you based on who your friends or followers are. A lot of cases, things like Facebook and tools like Facebook will suggest friends for you. They suggest friends for you based on your other friends. I don't know about you, but my list is pretty tight. When Facebook suggests a friend for me, we will typically have anywhere from 600 to 800 mutual friends, if not more. That's a pretty tight list. It's never 1 or 2 or 5 or none. Treat people the way you want to be treated. This is very simple. Put yourself in the customer's shoes, look at your materials, look at your videos. Make sure it's going to connect with them. If you read that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, that teaches you how to do that, how to treat people the way you want to be treated. It teaches you to think before you act, before you build, and think about the outcome and the response you want before you put anything out there. My favorite rule is if you keep doing that, you're going to go blind. It's not necessarily blind. It's more invisible. If you keep doing the wrong things, people stop looking at you, and you do become invisible. This is a prime example of search engine optimization gone wrong. Because again, search engine optimization, all of these pieces, viral video, it's all part of campaigns. It can all be viral. It's all part of becoming viral. This is a true story, though. I mean, not that anything else I'm saying is not true, but this is more personal. My wife and I were redoing our family room, and we wanted to get rid of the carpet that was in the family room and put down hardwood flooring. But the downstairs of my house is on a slab. So I knew I'm kind of limited on what I can and can't do. I know I have some options available to me and some that are not. So I went online and I wanted to find the best hardwood flooring for my specific application. So that's what I typed into the search engine. This is the site that came up #1 in the organic listings, which is great, which is a feat for somebody typing in best hardwood flooring. You're like, perfect, I'm only going to type that in if I'm looking for hardwood flooring. So I'm a potential customer. I'm a sale to lose, not a sale to win. And that's exactly what this site did, because the way that they showed up #1 in Google is through keyword stuffing. They use the term hardwood floor over and over and over and over again. Almost every 4th word. If you're looking for hardwood floor, we've got hardwood floor. We've got hardwood floor in the back. We've got hardwood floor in the front. We've got every color hardwood floor, every brand of hardwood floor, lots and lots of hardwood floor. It read like a 3-year-old wrote it and then threw up on the page. It was awful. So I looked down the center of the page. The content was useless. My eyes immediately tracked to the left and into the navigation, and there's brand names of hardwood floor. I don't know what brand I need. I'm not that educated. You can't assume I know what I'm talking about when I come to your website. You have to kind of treat me like I know nothing, because most of the time your customers do know nothing about what you're doing. They have a problem they're looking to you to solve. Then I look right, and then there's AdWords by Google, which is great. One, I was able to find someone to help me with my hardwood flooring. So this guy made a couple of cents, but all of his competitors showed up there because he used the terms hardwood floor over and over again. So if you're in business and you're creating a business website or a retail site, you typically don't, I know this is Affiliate Summit, but you got to think about what's going to show up there. And when you don't have control over what ads show up, you have to think about it a little bit. So this was a no-brainer. But the best part about this website, and I'm going to share it with you, was the absolute stupidest first sentence you will ever read on a website or anywhere ever. It's the stupidest grouping of words you've ever heard in your life. When I got to the homepage of this website, this is what I was greeted with. Hardwood floor is a material that has fascinated humans for thousands of years. That's what I'm greeted with. Are you freaking kidding me? It's wood, right? I mean, and then who calls people humans? Do you go, hey, human, hi, human? Nobody says that. Would they say this if I walked into their store? And then I started to think, because this is the stuff that keeps me up at night, is it only humans that are fascinated by hardwood floor? I'll tell you what, when we put down the hardwood floor in the family room, and my Jack Russell Terrier ran across it and tried to make a right, that dog was pretty freaking fascinated. So it's not just humans, they're lying to me. You have to think about the customer. They lost a large sale. That was definitely a woman laughing. Sir. So things are not what they used to be. If you want to take a chapter from the book of Staples, Staples has probably the most successful viral campaign ever because they get people to buy their campaign and put it on their desk, their easy buttons. That easy campaign was genius, pure genius. It made me think, and here's the emotion part, it made me think that I can buy anything I want at Staples, and if I have any problem, it's no big deal. I'll just bring it back. It's easy. Easy for me, harder for them. And they take steps to ensure that if it's a little harder for them but a little easier for you, they'll do it. And then they sell buttons, easy buttons. I mean, it's absolutely brilliant. That's how you want your customers to think. Right down to if there's a form on your website and you're getting name, address, city, state, and zip. If you're getting the zip code, you already have the city and state. Take those two fields out. It's two less for them, one extra click for you. It's a little bit easier. Those are the kinds of things that make it easy. So definitely take a cue from Staples. That easy thing is genius. So how are you going to start the decade? This is a brand new decade. We're rounding out the first month of a historical decade. The one thing I can promise you is the things that took you through the last decade will not take you through this decade. You are going to have to add more weight to the bar. You're going to have to get tougher because it is not going to get any easier. Things are not going to get easier. If you want to survive, if you want to win, you're going to have to fight for it.
Will you fight? No! We will run! And we will live!
Shame on you. This could be the greatest night of our lives. But you're gonna let it be the worst.
And I guarantee a week won't go by in your life you won't regret walking out, letting them get the best of you.
Well, I'm not going home.
We've got too far!
And I'm gonna stay right here and fight for this lost cause.
A day may come when the courage of men fails, but it is not this day.
The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther.
I'm not saying it's gonna be easy.
You're gonna work harder than you ever worked before.
But that's fine, we'll just get tougher with it.
If a person grits his teeth and shows real determination,
failure is not an option.
That's how winning is done.
Believe me when I say we can break this army here.
And win just one for the Gipper.
But I say to you, what every warrior has known since the beginning of time,
you've got to get mad.
I mean plumb mad dog mean.
and they will know what we can do!
Let no man forget how menacing we are. We are lions.
You're like a big bear, man.
This is your time.
Seize the day.
Never surrender. Victory or death.
Who's with me?
Clap! Clap! Don't let team die! Clap!
All right, let's fly! And gentlemen in England, now a bed shall know my name is the Lord. When I tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our Independence Day.
Pretty good way to end the presentation. I hope you're all ready to start clicking ass. It's a term that you should just keep in your head and let roll around. Thank you very much. Here's some resources for everybody. Blogs, podcasts. I've done interviews and been interviewed with people like Harry Beckwith and Jack Canfield from Chicken Soup for the Soul, Mike Ditka from the Bears. Some really good stuff are on some of those podcasts, so in learning from the best out there. My company, things I do besides sell books and speak for a living is my company, we're 20 people located in Wall, New Jersey, which is down at the shore. And we do consulting, internet marketing strategy, full-blown development, as well as, obviously, I do a tremendous amount of professional speaking around the country. So if there's ever a way I can help you, the gentleman with the laugh like a woman, I have a book for you, and there's business cards up here, and if anybody's got any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Just come on up and talk to me. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you staying and listening to me.